Hey guys, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. This is Ashank David, and in today's video, we are going to talk about Pandas library in data science. So recently we have finished with NumPy library. So I've created three videos onto that. That is NumPy tutorial, NumPy operations, and NumPy indexing. So if you guys haven't watched those videos yet, I'll give the link in the description below so that you can also go ahead and watch those videos. Well, this is something that is a little bit different from NumPy, but yes, here also in Pandas we work with data, and especially in data we work with data sets. So we are going to talk about that today. And but before we go ahead into this, it is going to be good if you have already watched those videos. So yeah, let's continue. I'll give you the link of those NumPy videos in the description as well as in the I button as well, so that you can go ahead and refer those videos also so that you know how to work with arrays and NumPy. All right. So without any further ado, let's get right into this topic, guys. Now, before I start this video, I would like to request you people to please like, share, and subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you won't miss any future updates. So without any further ado, let's get right into the topic, guys. So we are talking about pandas. So what is pandas? Pandas is a Python library used for working with data sets. Now, what do you understand by data set to be exact? Well, data set is somewhat like a table that can be used to write all our data into and work on it. So we are going to soon talk about data sets also in depth, where I'm going to talk about different types of data frames and different things related to all data only. Just like how we were doing things in NumPy, similar to that, we are going to do some things in Pandas. So basically, why Panda is used. Pandas has functions for analyzing the data, cleaning the data, exploring the data, and manipulating the data. What do you understand by this? When we say analyzing the data, in analyzing the data, we are going to collect our data and see what kind of data we can work with it. It's a series or it's a data frame or something like that. Soon you will get to know. Today we are going to talk about our first topic, which is going to be series in this case, and we'll see how we can clean our data, how we can perform some operations onto it, how we can explore different things out of it, and how we can manipulate our data. So we are going to talk about all of that when we will be doing this pandas, and you'll understand it much better in this case. The name pandas has referred to both panel data and Python data analysis and was created by this guy, Wes McKinney, in 2008, right? So this is what pandas is used for, and it is a very important aspect in data science because when we work with data, we usually use these two libraries more, NumPy and pandas. So yes, so you will get to know about that very soon when we start with pandas as well. Okay, now to install pandas, what you need to do now, here you can use normal CMD to, like how normally you have installed no, NumPy. Similar to that, you will install pandas also using pip command, or if you have, it's better to go ahead with a conda prompt and then you say conda install pandas. This is going to require conda prompt. Okay, that is going to come with your anaconda distribution in your system. Yes, so that is how it is going to be done. Now let us move ahead to our main topic, and the first thing that we are going to talk about in today's topic is going to be series, right? We are going to talk about series. Now guys, before we go ahead into this, let me first tell you what we are going to learn in pandas. So the first thing that we are going to learn in pandas is going to be series. The second thing is going to be learn about data frames. Now data frames is going to be a long thing because we are going to do a lot of things with this data frames. The third thing we are going to work about how we can work with missing data in data frames from this data frames. Okay. Then after that, we are going to talk about group by in pandas, which allows your data frames to group together. Okay. In different ways. We are going to talk about so many different ways. Okay. Then again, we are going to talk about merging joining and concatenating the data frames. Then we will talk about pandas operations. Just like how we talked about NumPy operations, we are going to talk about pandas operations also. And at last, we are going to talk about pandas data input and output. So how we can manage our files, how we can read CSV, how we can read Excel files, how we can read HTML files and do a lot of web scraping in this case. We will talk about all of that in this particular section of the video. Okay. Now, today we are going to be more focused towards series in this case. We are going to more focus towards series, and this is going to be a dedicated videos only on series. Data frames we will divide it into part 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Maybe 4 it may go. Missing data will be covered in one video. Group by will be covered in one video. For this also one video is required. For this also one video is required. And for all these things, one video is required. That is fine. For this also one video. So today we are going to start with the series. So in this video, we are going to talk about in today's video about series. Okay. So now without any further ado, let's get right into the series. Right. Okay, now speaking of Jupyter Notebook, guys, I'm onto my Jupyter Notebook, and here you can see that it's right now into my folder. And in this case, I'm going to create a notebook. And all of us know how to create a notebook. In this case, I'm going to name this notebook as number 1. It is going to be Panda series. Okay, I'm going to rename this. And now, in this case, let us talk about a series first. What exactly a series is. Okay, but first let me tell you about that we are doing pandas. And the first thing that we are going to do in pandas is going to be a series. Okay, so what is a series first of all? Let me write it here. A series is very similar to a NumPy array. Well, it is very similar to a NumPy array. In fact, it is built on NumPy array only. In fact, it is built on NumPy array object only. All right. But what makes difference? But what makes it different from a NumPy array? That is what we need to understand. From a NumPy array is that a series can have labels. What do you understand by labels? Meaning they can be indexed by a label. So let's understand that. Okay. I am gonna first import NumPy in this case, NumPy as NP. Now, why I'm doing this? Because I will be working with the data and I will be creating some arrays into this, and then we will be passing it into a Panda series. Okay. So first I'm gonna say import NumPy as NP, and the next thing I'm gonna say here only, let me say it here only. I'll say import pandas and I'm gonna import this pandas as PD. Okay. So for pandas, it is PD. Now let me create some data first of all. Okay. We have, let's say we have there are multiple lists here. So the first one is a list of labels. What is a label? I'm gonna tell you about that very soon. So let's say I'm passing A, I'm passing B, and I am passing, let's say C in this case. I am passing my underscore data. This is going to be a new list, let's say, which is going to have some data 10, 20, 30, and I'm going to create an array out of this. Now to create an array, you already know, you have already watched our NumPy videos. So to do that, I'm going to say np dot. I can use arrange function also, but let's, because we already have our data here, our data here, I can say directly np dot array, and here I can pass my underscore data in this case. Okay, I'm gonna create one more dictionary as well, and in this case, let's say I created a dictionary called as a of value is going to be, let's say, 10. So basically I'm saying a is the key and 10 is the value. So this is our label and this is our data. This is our array out of it, and I'm gonna create a dictionary which have these values as keys and these as the value. So key value pair, you already know how we work with the dictionary. So if you haven't watched our dictionary video, I will give the link of the dictionary video as well into the description, and you guys can watch that video also, or follow our Python playlist as well, where we have explained about dictionary, guys. All right. So now we have created our data as well. In this case, you can see we have created a label. We have created my data. These two are lists basically. Then we have created an array. When we passed our data into that array, it should create a one-dimensional array in this case of this particular data. And then I've created my dictionary. So let us print those things one by one. So if I print my labels, it is going to just print this list. If I print my data, it is going to just print my data. When I print ARR, then it creates a vector one-dimensional array of this data which we have passed into it. And then at last, if I print my dictionary, it looks somewhat like this. Okay. So till now, we have just printed these things. Okay. Now, let's say you want to create your first series in this. Now, what is a series? Let's say. Let's talk about that. I'm going to say PD. So for pandas dot, I'm going to say series pandas dot series, and here in the brackets, let's see, if I press shift plus tab, it opens up this doc strings for this particular thing. So if you don't understand what to pass in this case, you can just press shift plus tab on your keyboard, and it is going to open up a nice doc strings where you can read the documentation of this particular function. So these are the values, these are the arguments that this series function will take into it. So the first one is going to be the data. What is going to be the data in this case? The major data that this series can hold. Then the indexes. Now indexes are, you already know what is an index. The row number is going to be the index in this case. So let's understand how it looks like. First of all, I'm gonna pass my data. So data equals to, I will say, I will pass my data in this case, this one. Okay, I passed my data in this case, and then I can just say comma. The second one is going to be index, right? So I said index equals to, I can say index equals to, here I can pass labels as my index. Why don't I pass labels in this case? Okay, so if I now say run button, here in this case, you see this is how a series in pandas looks like. So this is our data, and this is just one column of data. Okay, this is one column of data, and this is the index or the row number. In this case, row number is taken as this label, and label was A, B, C in this list. All right. So this is your pandas series, and this is how it looks like. Now, if you remember, in the next video, we are going to discuss about data frame. It is very important for us to understand about series before we go ahead into data frames, because data frame is going to be a collection of series only. So in this video, we are learning how we can create a series first. Later on, this concept will be applied into a data frame as well. Okay, so this is how we created a series. Now you see that if you remember how we use a basic Python function in this case, we don't have to always mention the arguments names. Okay, I can just say here pd dot, I can say series, and here I can just pass my data as my first argument and labels as my second argument. Automatically my data will go into the first argument, which is data. It depends upon the precedence of how you write, and the second label will automatically go into this index in this case, and it gives you the same result only. Okay, this is very simple. Now in the next one, let's say I want to create a series using my array. So my array, if you remember, it was this, right? Array of this data, my data, which was 10 comma 20 comma 30. So I can create a series also. For that also, I can say pd dot, I can say series, and inside this I can pass ARR. You can see that when I pass ARR contains only my data. But here we did not pass any index. If you want to pass any index, separated by a comma and pass your index. But right, let's say if I don't pass index, what happens? If I run this code, now you can see that here our data is taken into the series. But now because the index were not given, automatically Panda took 0, 1, and 2 as series because as index, because by default anything in Python starts from 0 only. So it depends how many number of data you have into your series or your list which you are passing inside your series object and your series function, and it creates a data series like this, which will have its own set of indexes also in this case. Now let's say if I want to give the own custom made indexes for it, I can say pd dot series, and here after passing my array comma I can say, let's say my labels should be my indexes in this case. So I created labels like this, and when I run this code, you see we got the same output in this case also. Now, because here we provided the index, which is labels in this case, which was ABC, in this case, it replaced 0, comma 1, comma 2 by A, comma B, comma C in this case. So this is how you can create a series with array and passing a list as index in this case. So now you understood that what are indexes. Indexes are just the row names, and a series is just one column of data. A series is just one column of data. When we will talk about the data frames, data frame will be collection of series which will share the same indexes. In this case, A, B, and C will be the same indexes, and more data columns will be present. That will be called as a data frame. That we are going to see in the next video, but as of now, you should understand how series is working in Pandas. All right. Now next, let's say we created our dictionary also, right? And this was our dictionary in this case. D was our dictionary. Let's understand how I can pass my dictionary also in this case. If I pass pd dot series in this case, and in this case, if I pass d, it gives us the same result in this case. How? In this case, automatically the dictionary was taken in consideration and values were taken automatically as data, and indexes were replaced by the key values key in the dictionary, so which allowed us to create our indexes directly like this. I hope this is very much clear to all of you guys. Okay, now I just want to write one thing here. A series can hold many other types of data in its data points. Data points means the data argument, not only int but also characters. What do you understand by this? Let's understand this by a help of an example. Let's say I want to create a series which will have some characters into it. Okay, so I can say pd dot series. I said until now you were saying that always our data was 10 comma 20 comma 30, so that is why I've written here a series can hold many other types of data also, many other types of data in its data points, not only int but also characters. So let's say I passed my data only as equals to labels in this case. Okay, I created labels in this case. So you see now data was replaced by the labels which was A, B, C, and because we did not pass any index, I did not pass any index equals to, it was not there. So automatically the indexes were taken as 0, 1, and 2. All right. Now it doesn't matter you if you don't even write the same thing here. Like if you don't write data equals to labels, then labels will automatically be taken as the first argument, and the whole labels list, which is A, B, and C, will be passed as data into your series as well. All right, this is fine. Now you can also pass your set of own indexes. So let's say my indexes should be, instead of 10, 20, and 30 as being my data, now I want to set them as indexes in this case. So I will pass my data as indexes in this case is the second argument, and you can see that it replaces this 0 comma 1 comma 2 from 10 comma 20 comma 30 in this case for indexes. So I hope this is also clear. So you can put any type of actually data in this case. Let's see some more example. Let's say I created one series which will have first argument is always your data argument, the second argument is always your indexes argument. So in the first argument, which is data, I'm passing a whole list and a list of, let's say, string. So I want to say coders as the first element of this list, and I'll say arcade as the second element of this list. Okay, so this is going to be the data now. So coders and arcade will be one data column into the series. And in this case, let's say for coders, I'll say C as index, and for arcade, I'll put A as index. Okay. So in index, C and A will be the indexes. And now if I run this code, you see it prints coders and arcade as the data part and data column in this case, and the indexes are C and A. All right. If I replace it with A and if I replace it with B, then it does the same job like this also. So it depends. All right. I hope this is very much clear to all of you guys. This is how you are going to work with series. Now, not only you can pass strings as a special arguments into your series, but also you can pass, let's say, you can pass functions also in pandas series. Okay. For example, I created a series. So pd dot, I said series, and in this case, rather than passing my data as any particular string or an integer, I said data will be my first argument. Data will be a list of function sum, print function, and len function. This len function is used to take out the len. Print function is used to print something in Python. Sum is used for taking out the sum. When I run this, you see, because we never passed the index, and indexes were taken by default as 0, 1, and 2, but we got the function object for it. So in this case, sum is a inbuilt function which got into as a data of this particular series on index 0. Similarly, println inbuilt function came and got stored inside the series as the second element on the first index of this series. You can see now. All right. So, well, this is how you can work with your series as well. Okay. Well, we won't do anything like this in our course, but for your knowledge, I'm just showing you that anything, basically anything can be passed inside the Pandas series in this case. All right, guys. Now, next, let's see some more uses of series. Uses of series. Okay. Let's say now I'm gonna create multiple different series in this case. So let me first toggle the header and the toolbar so that you have much space here to see in this case. Okay. All right. So in this case, let's say I created my first series, series 1 equals to, I said pd dot series. Well, now you can see that till now we were directly saying pd dot series. These things were not getting stored anywhere. It was just getting directly printed on Jupyter Notebook. But in this case, now I'm storing a series into the series 1 variable. So series 1 equals to pd dot series. And what is the first argument that we pass? We pass our data in this case. The next thing is what we pass, index in this case. Okay. So let us say I passed one data as 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 as a list of data into my panda series, and I pass some, let's say, list of country names. Okay, list of country names as my indexes in this case. So I said India, then I said USA. Okay, I said Japan in this case. I said Russia in this case. And here I said China. India, USA, Japan, Russia, China. There are 5 indexes in this case, 5 data in this case, and 5 indexes in this case. Now, let's say I printed this series 1. Okay, let's say I printed this series 1. So to do that, I'm going to say series 1, and there you go. We got this series: India 1, USA 2, Japan 3, Russia 4, and China 5. Okay, now let's say I created another series. let's say series 2 equals to PD dot, I said series, and in this case, my first data is going to be set of numbers only, but this time I'll just change one number and one country in this case. Okay. So let's say I said 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Let's say instead of 4, comma 5, I will say 5, comma 4. All right. And in this case, I passed same set of countries only, but I'll change one country in this case. I'm gonna say, and by the way, if you're wondering, here I've used double quotes and here I've used single quotes. Well, Python allows both single and double. So in this case, I've used double quotes. So that means I can write double quotes also or single quotes also. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Okay. Now in this case, because I changed this to 5 and 4, let me delete this country name Russia, or let's delete this China. And in this case, I'm gonna insert one more country in between as Pakistan. Okay. So now in this case, what happened? See the difference between this series and this series. I created this series 1 and this series 2. In this case, I have just changed the location of Russia to this position. Russia was number 4, so I moved Russia on this position and I deleted China and I made it Pakistan for this. Okay, so now let's say I said series 2. If I print, there you go. So we got the 2 series in this case. Okay. Now you see when I perform some operation, let's say I want to access the first one from this first series, let's say. I can say series 1 of, in like how you access it in slicing notation, you can also pass the whole thing as like this. And if I print like this, it is going to print something like this. Okay. I said series 1 of, I said Russia, it printed 4. Like this, you can access all the elements and one by one for both series 1 and series 2. Okay, I hope this is clear now. I can also do something like this. Series 1 of, if I pass 0, it is going to give me the first element which is stored inside it. Okay. For example, I created another series. Let's say series 3 equals to, I did pd dot series like this. And here I've passed my labels, which was A, B, and C. Okay, so I can pass series 3 of, I can say 0, and it would give me this value. So now this is the way we can access multiple types of data in this case. What I wanted to show you is from this series 1 and series 2 is, you see what I'm going to do now. I'm going to say series 1 plus series 2, and you see that when I run this code, you can see that here for China, it came NaN because in series 1, China was there on 5th position, but China is not there in the second one. So we were not be able to add these two series properly. For other series like India was there in both the series, so 1 plus 1 for India got added and it became 2. For Japan, it was 3. On third number, Japan was there, right? On both the places, so it added 3 plus 3 and it gave us 6. Similarly for Pakistan, NaN, because Pakistan was not there in series 1, but it was there in series 2. China was there in series 1, but it was not there in series 2. That is why we are getting NaN values for Pakistan and China, because it doesn't know which to add what. In this case, Russia was on number 4, so 4 plus 4 it is 8, and USA was 2, so 2 plus 2 it is 4 now in this case. I hope this is now clear. I will write a comment quickly here that I'm gonna skip. Alright guys, so above, when we added two series, we noticed that China and Pakistan did not find their matches. So for them, we added the values and printed NaN. Also, the data type for the data got changed to float. So the data doesn't lose any values in this case automatically. Yeah, see these values when they were got added automatically, the type conversion happened here and it changed to float. But I hope you have got the idea of how series is working in this case. This is just, I wanted to show you about how series are working. That's all for this video, guys. So quickly going through again, what is a series? Series is very similar to a NumPy array. In fact, it is built on NumPy array object only, but What makes it different from a numpy array is that a series can have labels, meaning they can have indexes as labels. For example, in this case, we created this data, and here when we created our first series, you can see the first element is the data. The first argument that has to be passed inside the series is the data, and the second element is going to be the index in this case. So you just have to remember this, guys. A series is just the collection of data in one column and multiple rows. Okay. When in the next video we will discuss about data frames. In that case, data frames, it is going to be the collection of series of multiple series sharing the same indexes. Right now you are seeing anything like this, series like this, one set of row, one set of column, one set of column, and three different set of rows. But in data frames, you will see multiple columns, more columns here, and they will be all sharing the same indexes. So this is why series is a basic building block before we go ahead into data frames. So that is the reason you have to learn series first. And this is enough for us to understand about how series is working. Now we can directly apply the series concept into data frames, and we can form different types of data frames as well. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you guys in this lecture. If you have any doubts, if you have any problems related to this topic, guys, please let me know into the comments section, and I'm gonna clear all your doubts. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, guys. And don't forget to press the bell icon as well so that you won't miss any future updates, guys. So that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. And this is Ashank David signing off. I will be seeing you guys in the next one.